This video is called The Power of Saying No. How it helped me to become ultra productive. So it's basically what you already think it's gonna be about. It is about just simply saying no to things. Now, I seriously believe that saying no was one of the biggest mistakes that I made in my life. For example, I did not say no. That was my mistake. For example, when I started my first startup companies. And when I started them, I thought they are going to be $1 million companies, but I wasn't sure about it. I wasn't sure about the people that I built them with, and I didn't know really how to get there, how to scale the business, and also just simply, I didn't really have the strength, the mental strength at that time to already understand how to build a pro business. And of course, also my coworkers didn't know how to do that. Now, what I encountered is that saying no is definitely a good thing. And that is what I want to take as a core idea, a core message right now here in this course. Now, we are being taught that saying no is often a bad thing. You're showing your disapproval. Now, disapproval does not mean that it's something negative. Let's say, for example, someone tells you, "Can I slap you in the face?" And you will say, "No." Of course, this disapproval, but also it just implements that this guy is completely mental. Now, if someone tells you, "Would you start a business with me?" and you're kind of like, "Ugh, I don't want to tell him no," but you know, it's basically the same thing as someone slapping you because this guy has no idea how to build a business, doesn't have money, and also just simply is not the right person to do it. But at that time now, you cannot say to this person no, because you think this is a great big thing that he or she wants to do. Perhaps you have some problems with money and you just want to make some more money, and that's why you think, perhaps I should, tell him, yeah, I want to do this, but actually don't do too much. But then after just a couple of days, couple of weeks, you're going to be into it 100% and you cannot really focus on the things that you want to focus on. Now, it is quite problematic in my mind that many people then start off with something, whether it's a business, whether it's, I don't know, a career, whether it's a skill, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a sport. We like to be yes sayers. We say yes to things that we don't want to say yes to. Now, I want you to develop the other way around kind of thinking. I want you to be the person that says more no than it says yes. Now, of course, sometimes it is not really logical to say yes because it is not logical in the short term. For example, when I did an interview a couple of weeks ago, I asked myself during that interview in my mind whether this is worth it, because in the time I was giving that interview, I could have built another Udemy course, or I could have talked to other people on the phone that could have made me richer. But in the end, I really believe that the long-term thinking, that kind of behavior gets you places, because I understood that if I do this interview and the next 10 interviews and perhaps the next 1,000 interviews that are gonna come up, that I really gain this kind of traction that is needed in order to succeed in life, in order to be known by other people. Now, currently, I do not have a big interest in being known by other people, but at that time it was a massive, massive interest that I had. But again, let's get back to the video and kind of the idea of the video. Saying no is not saying that you actually have a massive disapproval. It is just rather that you don't want to do it. I mean, this should not be a problem to say. Nevertheless, it often is. Sometimes you need to have that kind of, I'm sorry for the wording, but off kind of mentality, the fuck off mentality, in order to really be successful in not just, for example, the financial markets, but also as an entrepreneur, as a person who also, for example, cares for other people. You should not, spend too much time on people who just simply don't add any value to your life, or that you cannot add value to their lives and also will make you feel happy. So let's just dive right into the video. I think you got a couple of things that really interest you. So let's start off. Start caring less about the feelings of other people. And it took me a long time to really understand what this means, because I came from a Christian household. My parents taught me in a very Christian kind of manner, and of course, caring about other people is especially important when you are a Christian. Now, but soon I understood that most people around me I don't like. Many of them were complete dicks to me. I was being mobbed in primary school. I was not really popular in high school, and I'm currently still in high school. And actually, when I'm building my businesses, no one thought that I would become successful, and I always proved other people wrong. So when you, for example, show disapproval towards something and you say no to something, this does not mean that you cannot be trusted or that you will not become successful. It actually rather means that you're going to become successful when you can really kind of eye out the things that you want to do and the things that you don't want to do. So if you just say yes to everything, you might find a golden dime, you find perhaps a nugget. But when you don't do that and you only look for the nuggets, you will probably find more than actually one single nugget. That's why when you tell people no, of course you can do that in a nice way, but when you do that, don't care about their feelings. It does not change anything in your life, it doesn't add any value to their lives, and surely they should not be sad because they are asking you and you give them a very normal answer, and that is no. So they often do not care much about your feelings, and that is what I have been encountering quite a lot. Because when you care about other people's feelings so much, whether it's a boyfriend, whether it's a girlfriend, at some point they're going to be dicks to you and you cannot change anything about it. For example, when I think back and to how many girls I was nice that I wanted to date, but almost none of them actually dated me at some point, I think perhaps I should have just gone all in and say, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend or something like that? And they would have perhaps said no, but perhaps I would have got a hit. But anyway, now this is a long story. I just really believe that most people do not care about your feelings, and that's why sometimes you should not care about the feelings of other people. Then saying no is nothing mean. It just shows that you do know what you want to do with your life and that you don't want to put and don't want to do anything together with another person. Now, this is basically what I don't understand. Someone comes to you and asks you, would you like to work with me? And you say no, and afterwards this person is pissed. I don't get it. You asked me something and I gave you a proper answer. I gave you an honest answer. And they do appreciate that, they're going to be angry and so on, but do not care about their feelings. When they are angry, this is not our problem because we did not cause it. So make sure you let all planets align and then say yes, instead of often saying yes and wasting time. That is one of my main kind of advice that I can give you here. And I'm sorry that I misspelled wasting here. Sorry about that. But anyway, I don't want you to waste any time. I don't want you to lose any time. Because if you say yes to everything, you're going to find perhaps a gold nugget at some point. But most of the things that you're going to find is just pure earth, nothing important. So in the end, my advice to you is just simply this. No means no. Don't change your opinion easily. When someone asks you something and you say no to that person, you don't want to do this, then they must accept it. They ask you. So when they kind of are like, oh, but I have this and that, and they want you to change your opinion, don't change your opinion easily. Often your mind and your heart are right. That's why. Don't change your opinion easily. And again, no means no in that sense.